Hey guys, Dan Landis, Team Futaba Manager here. Got Chip Hyde here with me, longtime Team Futaba member, and we're just gonna chill and talk about some reasons that Chip has liked Futaba. He's been with Futaba for so long, and so why don't you take it away, Chip? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Dan, I've been flying Futaba equipment now for just over 25 years, and it's been great stuff. I've won a lot of contests with it, and knock on wood, haven't had really any problems to speak of.
That's what I like to hear. What about some of your most notable accomplishments? What are some of the real big ones for you?
Gee, that's tough because there's so many that over the years that mean a lot. There's the helicopters and pattern, of course, TOCs, World Championships, but I think the biggest one that I remember is in 1999 in Sweden at the World Championships when we had a three-way contest going down to the wire on the last round, and Richard Verano crashed. Dave Shadell was in first place, I was in second, and somebody made a comment that we'd have to set a new world record and go sub 1 minute in order to win the contest, and we won by 0.2 of a second that year.
That's very cool.
So thanks to the Futaba equipment, it was awesome.
Very cool. Good to hear. Good stuff. Good stuff. What is your probably most notable airplane or aircraft, favorite airplane you've flown?
Well, you know, that changes. It's all relevant to what the time frame is and what you know, kind of what I'm doing. But
of course.
Right now, it'd be the Finals Touch.
Okay.
That's kind of a state-of-the-art F-3A biplane that was not supposed to fly. It flies really well.
It does. I can attest to that.
You know, and then, geez, I don't know, the Ultimates. You know, they were very unique airplanes. The double tunnel vision with Jason Schulman and yourself when we both flew. Two guys flew one airplane. Those are memorable.
That was fun.
The unlimited racing airplanes with the inline triples. First guy to go over 200 miles an hour and land. I had to put that in there, and land, because I wasn't the first guy to go over 200, but we came back and we were able to land. So no, it's just there's been so many things.
Very cool.
So many
Very
things.
cool.
It's been great ride.
What's your favorite radio right now out of the whole Futaba line? I know you've flown everything from 18MZs to the 16 to the 14SG. I know you had the 14SG for a while and were really liking that. Right now, what's your radio choice?
You know, I mean, it's the 16SZ. I mean, that thing is, since you got me one about, I guess it was a few months ago now,
Mm-hmm.
I've used it to compete in F3J at a very high level, and that at the team selection, and we won as a team with it. Flew it 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago in a pattern contest with my Finals Touch. Had 3 or 4 flights on the airplane with the transmitter, and ended up coming in first place, beating one of the U.S. team members and the U.S. national champion at this time.
Yep.
And then, of course, we flew scale with it 2 weeks ago. So it's just an incredible radio.
It is.
Especially for the money. Unbelievable.
And where would you say one of the coolest places you've flown? What rings a bell? And I know that you and I flew together in Iraq and Afghanistan, and that was kind of fun.
It was a blast.
But aside from that, where model-wise?
Well, you know, in the United States, it would have to be the TOCs up in Las Vegas. I mean, that was just a venue that was like no other. However, South America, every place I go in South America to fly is just an absolute amazing place to go. Mm-hmm. And then there was Dubai, the World Air Games in 2005. That was just an incredible venue that I don't even want to put a dollar sign on how much they spent to have that there, with the 125 full-scale acts, and then the 5 RC guys, myself, Christoph, and some other guys went, and I was able to win that, and it was
big accomplishment.
Huge show. It was just amazing. 7 days of basically watching no rules flying, and then we had to compete in the midst of it. It was great.
What would you pick out with the Futaba radio as the main reason or main reasons, besides, you know, as much as we feel so connected to our equipment, what else is the reason or that you like it?
Well, you kind of stole my thunder there.
Sorry. I'm on the same page with you there. So,
you know, I mean, obviously it's the connection between the airplane and the radio. You know, I really learned what being connected was like when I took off a couple years and I went and flew control line stunt, because you're connected directly to the airplane. So, yep. But you have a feel, a little bit of a return feel, you know, being on the wires. But anyhow, the Futaba radios just absolutely offer the ultimate connection with the receiver, to where there's just no doubt that you're telling it to do something and it's going to do it. And then on top of that, the Futaba servos are just fantastic. I mean, I can't say enough about those. They're just from everywhere from the $19 high voltage introductory level servos that come with the radios, or some of the lower end radios, and up to the BLS 177 or whatever it is, that the monster servo up on top.
Absolutely.
They're just, the gear trains are second to none. The gear fit, the wear, the weight is a lot in a lot of these airplanes, the speed. And what I really learned just recently in gliders is the current draw on a Futaba servo is half of what it is on some of these other servos that are so-called, you know, super servos or great servos that they use in some of the other venues. I watch guys crash and guys, you know, having to charge all day long. And the Futaba servos offer the same power, the same speed, smoother, the slow on. You know, I don't know exactly what that...
Slow start.
Slow start.
Yep.
All those features are just, it's just, there's nothing else out there.
Agreed.
So, you know, and then you couple that with telemetry, S-Bus, you know, the cool shirts, nice hats, good team manager. What else can I say?
Well, thank you.
Happy day.
Thank you, thank you. If you were going to give an aspiring RCer some advice, what advice would you give them?
Well, if it was a young guy that I looked at, and that, you know, his admirations were to be the best or to be a good pilot, wanted to improve, I would have to say you need to fly pattern for a year, whether you're good or bad at it. Most guys that have some talent that you know, starting out, younger guys, they'll be good at it. You fly pattern for a couple years, then you can fly any one of these airplanes around here that you see. Very good.
Yep.
If you don't fly pattern, you know, you might be able to get good at, say, scale or gliders or something like that, but you'll never have the ability to diversify it, to go. That's what made it so that I can go win the nationals in helicopters, win the nationals in racing, win the nationals in IMAC, win the nationals in pattern.
The discipline.
The discipline, right? And then that makes all the other stuff possible.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, it's been many years since I just flew pattern. You know, I'm just going to say probably 30, 35 years since I just flew pattern. But it hasn't hurt my pattern flying, and it's kept it so that the hobby's fun to me.
Absolutely.
You know, so many people you see come and go because they dive into something and go so hard at it.
And you get burned out.
And they get burned out, and they can never master it because they don't have any way to take and deal with the unexpected.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about, is being able to deal with the unexpected. So that's what flying all the other stuff has given to me. When it comes to pattern, it's relatively slow paced compared to some of it. So it's a little bit easier to be on top of it now.
Good deal.
At this old age.
Well, thank you very much for your time this afternoon, Chip.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Thanks, Dan.
Dude, you had one job. I bring home 2 airplanes for you to put together. And what do we have? 1 airplane.
No, dude, you said put 2 airplanes together last night, so I did.